I don't know what just happened.
Yo, what is good, YouTube? It is your boy LancyVee, and welcome back to another Wonderlands video. Yo, okay, so this is gonna be my first build for Wonderlands. I think my first build video in general on YouTube. Anyways, this is gonna be part one of a two-part series for this specific build. The reason being is because in this build, yes, we're utilizing the Buffmeister glitch, okay? So if you take a look at the Spellshots Ambihextrous, it allows the Fademaker to wield two spells, all right? So if you hold the spell called the Buffmeister in the right hand and a really strong damaging spell in the left hand, what the Buffmeister will do is pull the information from the left hand, which is aka the damage that's stated on the stat card, and apply that damage number to any damage dealt from your character. So instead of applying 219, which is what's stated on the Buffmeister currently, it'll instead utilize the impaling ice spike damage. So yeah, it's kind of broken, but at the same time, you don't even have to use the Buffmeister. You could probably use another strong spell. I just like using the Buffmeister on this particular build because I want to be able to run through the Chaos Chambers on, you know, Chaos 20 with speed, because I'm trying to get to the end to farm for some gear and stuff like that. So yes, it's I must say it's glitchy, but you know, I wanted to get this build out there. A lot of you on TikTok has been asking about it or asking for it, so here it is. Okay, boys, so let's get right into the hero points. All right, so I capped out on both strength and dexterity. That way we can go ahead and get or increase our crit chance and crit damage. And the rest of the points I invested into intelligence for that spell cooldown. Pretty simple. So let's get right into the inventory. Weapons and gear. Just to let you guys know, the enchanted or enchantments on the weapons and gear cannot stack. So say I have here, for example, on my liquid cooling, I have on spell cast increased frost damage by 30% for 5 seconds. If this exact word for word enchantment is on my shield, for example, it will not stack. I will not receive an additional 60% increased frost damage for 5 seconds. It will not stack at all. So if it does say the same exact enchantment on both a weapon and a spell or a melee weapon or whatever the case may be, say if you have on spell cast increased gun damage by 30% on your melee weapon, your main weapon, your shield, and your spells, it will not stack at all, okay? I just want to let you guys know that before we get into this. All right, so let's start off with the weapons. Of course, we have the liquid cooling of Impatience ×2 volatile with the on spell cast increase frost damage by 30% for 5 seconds. Second weapon, that this is like one of my favorite weapons too as well, is an SMG, a purple one at that. It's called the Nightshade. This has to be a ×4 frost, okay? If not, then you won't have this variant of the SMG where it does this Sandhawk SMG Borderlands style look, feel to it. I like it a lot. This is one of my favorite weapons. ×4 with the on spell cast increase frost damage by 30% for 5 seconds. Third weapon that I have right now on this character is the Queen's Cry. It's a ×2. I want a ×1 variant of it because right now, although we have 37 in a magazine for the magazine size, bro, this weapon still chews through the magazine like real quick. So I want to get a ×1 because a ×1 I believe consumes only 2 shots or 2 ammo per shot. And on this as well, I have on spell cast increased frost damage by 30% for 5 seconds enchantment. The fourth weapon that I have is a Masterwork Handbow. Literally all I have this weapon for is to stack our spell weaving, which we'll get into the skill tree after this. But if you see down below under my experience bar, I have full stacks of spell weaving. So this is the only reason why I have this weapon. Other than that, I don't use it at all. The rings that we have are the mood rings. Mood rings allow us to wow our character while its ward is not full. Effects are increased by 100%. So both rings have increased gun damage along with the first one, which has spell critical hit chance, I can't see. SMG critical hit damage, SMG reload speed. The second one has spell critical hit damage, pistol critical hit damage, and pistol reload speed. All right, now moving over to the shield, we have the Cursed Wit. I like the Cursed Wit because of its perk. While ward is depleted, you gain a 17% damage reduction, and you gain an additional 100% increased damage dealt to nearby enemies. Along with that, this is a amped shield as well. So while full, shots drain 30% of your ward for plus 20% gun damage. And the enchantment that we have on it is when health is below 50%, regenerate 5% maximum health per second and gain 30% damage dealt. Holy crap, boys. Yeah, they all synchronize with each other. The class mod that we have is the Amalgam. Yeah, I said it correctly, I think. What this class mod does is allows your character to have an additional +5 passives. And as you can see, this is a really good roll. It's Stabbomancer / Spellshot roll. And the passives that we have down below is the increased area damage, increased gun damage, increased movement speed, increased gun critical hit chance, and increase all damage dealt. Bro, what? I forgot to cover the melee weapon that we have. We have the Goblin Pickaxe, which we barely melee with this build, but the only reason we have this specific melee weapon is because of its perk too as well. Goblin Pickaxe down at the bottom. Melee attacks spawn gold. Whenever the Fate Maker picks up gold, increases movement speed, spell cooldown rate, and action skill cooldown rate by 6% for 5 seconds, stacks 5 times. So we're just stacking upon stacking upon stacking and upon whatever, adding buffs left and right. And on this melee weapon we have on spellcast, increased gun damage by 30% for 10 seconds enchantment. So the perk for the Goblin Pickaxe, not only, so you don't have to only melee an enemy to drop the gold or spawn the gold. It's whatever gold that the enemy drops and you pick up will apply those stacks to your character. So it's pretty cool. The necklace or amulet that we have is, I don't know what the actual name for it, but it's the Blackguard's Overflow Blood Bag of Thought. Yeah. Anyways, you can just take a look at the bottom perk. It states while health is full, healing from dark magic increases maximum health. Survivability, bro. This adds survivability to the character. The role or the passives that we have are increase all damage dealt, increase gun reload speed. It also applies increased gun damage and Stabbomancer power too as well. So keep in note about the perk that it has with healing from dark magic increases maximum health, because that's going to be synchronizing with the Buffmeister. The left-hand spell that we have currently is the Impaling Ice Spike, one of my favorite spells right now currently. Along with the enchantment that's on it, on spellcast, increased damage dealt by 15%. I really love this spell, bro. This is like one of my favorite spells. Along with the Buffmeister. So like I said earlier, what the Buffmeister does is it'll buff your character. Depending on what the keywords are down below, will apply those buffs to your character. And down below we have Pew and Zap, and I believe it increases or buffs spell damage and something to do with gun handling and stuff like that. So this is a really good rolled Buffmeister. Along with that, since this has dark magic or a dark magic element on it, it'll apply dark magic to any damage that is dealt from our character too as well. So back to what I was saying with the amulet, we'll be receiving, healing from the dark magic and also increasing our maximum health. Survivability, bro, comes hand in hand. Also, the enchantment on this spell is a Spellshot enchantment. After casting a spell, increased gun damage by 20% and fire rate by 30%. Everything is just synchronizing with each other, bro. And also, like I said earlier, this thing is bugged. If you have the Buffmeister in your right hand and a powerful spell in your left hand, whatever the damage is stated on the stat card, the Buffmeister will apply that damage number to all damage dealt from your character instead of what it's supposed to apply, which is 219. Stupidly broken, if you ask me. Anyways, let's make our way on over to our skill tree. So we are maining the Spellshot, and our subclass is a Stabbomancer. I'm gonna have a picture up somewhere on the screen that'll display the points that we have in each node for each class tree, so it'll make it easier to, you know, just go ahead and follow that instead of following me, having to pause the video and whatnot. Also, you won't get distracted or confused with the class mod points that are applied in certain nodes. So we're gonna take magic bullets to increase our gun damage. Prestidigitation, I hope I said that right, to increase our reload speed. 1 in final mana just to bring our our spell cooldown rate. We're gonna have an increased spell cooldown rate. We're gonna max out just warming up for that fire rate. We're gonna have a glass cannon. That way, we're gonna have increased spell damage, which therefore gets applied to our gun damage. And on top of that, with the glass cannon node, you won't automatically recharge your ward or shield. Maxed out imbued weapons, increased bonus damage by 10%, and this stacks per spell that is equipped. Since we have 2 spells, you know, it'll be 20% increase damage. High thread count, just to increase our spell weaving stacks to 3 or by 3, so in total we have 8 instead of 5. 3 into Warcaster, just so that we can, you know, have a chance to instantly reload our weapons whenever we get a kill. 1 slot, 1 kill, which increases our gun damage by 4% per stack of spell weaving. And sever the thread, which whenever we hit a gun critical hit, it'll give us a chance to instantly reset our spell cooldowns. With this build, by the way, if I have not mentioned it already, we want to continuously spam our spells. So the more times we get our spells up, you know, the more we can spam it, because it'll proc the enchantments that we have on our weapons and gear. In our Stabbomancer's tree, we're maxed out an arsenal to increase our gun damage and spell damage. We're gonna be maxing out on our haste to increase our movement speed. We're gonna be maxing out on exploit their weakness. What this does is whenever you apply a status effect to an enemy, they get debuffs. We're gonna be maxing out swift death, which is an increased damage dealt on depending on how fast our character is moving. And we're moving really quickly with this character, dude, with this build. 1 in nimble fingers. This is from the class mod, so I didn't put a point here. We're gonna have 1 point in sneak attack just to increase our critical hit damage. And we're gonna have 1 point in elusive so that we can shoot and sprint at the same time. And we also have a chance to evade incoming damage, bro, by 10%. What? Other than that, I think I covered everything. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to your boy here on YouTube. Like the video, hit that notification bell to get notified on when I go live next here on YouTube, and also post new content here on YouTube. Also follow your boy on TikTok. I know a lot of you, like I said earlier, a lot of you have been asking for this build. Sorry, but here it is. Also, just to reiterate what I was saying earlier, this is a 2-part video. So this is the part 1, utilizing the Buffmeister glitch. Part 2 is going to be more so focusing on the Stabbomancer side of this build, so using no glitches at all. Okay, really, I prefer this build over the other because this one allows us to farm quicker for the chamber runs and whatnot. So other than that, I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Let me know down in the comments, okay, if you guys have any questions, whatever the case may be. Also, by the way, just to let you guys know again, save file will be in the Guilded server, which link is in the description down below. Make sure you guys go ahead and join the server. Make sure you guys go ahead and join the group, the Borderlands/Wonderlands group, and there you'll find the file for the save file. Also, by the way, it's PC only. So, like I said earlier, console players, I'm so sorry, but you won't be able to utilize that save file. What you can do is probably link up with someone that has the save file on PC and see if they can go ahead and drop these items for you guys. Other than that, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, dude. See ya, homies.